Before the year 2026, carriers were required to file a formal FCC application that would allow state regulators, stakeholders, and you, the public, a comment period to challenge various telecommunication carriers turning off service in an area. Seems like a thing that you'd want to have at least some say in. But then they would be able to receive approval to retire or cut off our real copper landline hookups. These are referred to as plain old telephone service, or POTS, P-O-T-S. This was under FCC Section 214 for Copper Service Retirement Regulations. Trump's FCC, however, earlier this year, decided to eliminate those requirements. The only thing you have is a 90-day notice, so you can get your much more annoying services in a row. Meanwhile, there's copper wire all over the place and equipment hookup, and yeah. CenturyLink, Cox Xfinity, and a few others offer or claim to offer $25 to $35 a month standalone landline service only, if you want to. And then after you do it, they then start accidentally adding on fees and just harass you into stop doing it because they don't want to provide it. But at least they act like you have the option. It depends on where you are. And in areas where it's literally impossible to get telecommunication service any other way, there is a hack for this. And that is to request through the city, county, state, or federal agencies I'm sure you're going to say that this is about IED or IDA or EOD or some three-letter acronym you're going to scream, but basically you can claim under medical need that you have to have a telecommunications hookup that's so basic it's hard to destroy. And very importantly, some people have to have this because it's the only way to get communication out where they are. They're beyond the last mile limit for every other form of telecom. Literally, phone lines in. They don't have antennas. So it's literally the only way they can have a hookup. So basically, you're shit out of luck. And you can look at a map if you want to, and you can try to find straight answers if you want to. But it's hard to do. There are a list of states that have active requests to shut down wiring, and they don't remove them once they're applied for. They're left up, so you can see places that are tearing it down. It's mostly on the East Coast. On the West Coast, it's almost exclusively California. It's all part of the monetization thing. And I'm sure nobody's palms got greased. What does this actually accomplish, though? Well, it does reduce all of that maintenance cost maintaining those wires that were working just fine for quite literally over 100 years. They're 100-year-old technology. Yeah, it was dumb, stupid, and worked. Now, most of you have a landline that requires that it be voice over IP. The United Kingdom decided to get rid of analog landlines and switched over to digital landlines, which is what they're calling it. It's same shit, different day. Is this more efficient usage of wiring? Yes. Yes, I'm not arguing that. But the trouble is that your landline through the telephone company that was required by law to have a quality of service, or QoS, that said that it couldn't disconnect all the time, was run through a digital funnel by the telephone company. It had to work, which meant everything else that was on the same cabling, by definition, would only have bad quality or dropouts or failures if it was intentional. And everybody knew that. And this kept people a little bit more honest. So now they want, oh, it's $25 or $35 a month because it has to be a fixed number. I have to actually tell you up front because the telephone system used to be regulated back in the before time to where they had to be upfront about the costs. They couldn't lie about them. They couldn't tack anything on. Then the deregulations happened. Yes, it happened only under one party, and it wasn't the Democrats. And it happened on the city, county, state, local, the homeowners association level, every level possible, because greedy fuckers going to be greedy. And again, it's a chunk of wire you hook up and you apply, no joke, like 48 volts across. and you hook it up to a piece of equipment that can be as complicated as you want it to be, but it had to continually provide 100% reliable service or a certain percentage of uptime. And they don't have that restriction at all. They can just shut your shit off. Because well, mobile phones, you're like, can you hear me? That's the thing we all got used to. Instead of you pick up the phone, you hear a dial tone, and you dial and you get through. And it's the only thing that worked during Katrina. It's the only thing that worked during name that disaster. And on Trump's watch, this passed through because the FCC. But the FCC has been, yes, Obama controls the FCC when Donald Trump literally picks and chooses who's there and can get away with quite literally ordering murders in other countries because he wants to be the Don. But no, he's totally powerless because of something that you're going to claim was done by some other group of people like Obama or Hillary or something. Yet another in a series of things that we lost this year. I mean, you wouldn't be able to get them to not unplug the cabling, right? Anybody remember that lonely telephone out in the desert that still worked until basically some bureaucrats running the Department of Interior or something decided to go out there and quite literally use chainsaws to cut the cabling down and make a problem so that it wouldn't be there, then ripped it down. Then when people left wreaths and little, trinkets at the location, they ripped up the rock, they ripped up the stone, they ripped up the cement, they ripped up hundreds of feet of shit to make it to where you couldn't find out where the loneliest phone booth was, because any little bit of joy, any little bit of empathy and humanity in this world must be punished. I dare you to find an actual payphone anywhere in your state. This would be kind of a fun thing. I mean, there's a website that used to have them up. You can still buy them. You can plug them in, but you can't plug them into anything because the phone companies are not just allowed to, but are encouraged to rip up the wiring so you can't plug things in for some fucking reason. Yes, I'm going to go off on over 5 minutes on this. This is aggravating. If you weren't aware of it, landlines made it to where you usually had, by default, it was infrastructure. If the infrastructure's there, you can't bitch about needing to charge me for a hookup. The hookup is $20, and it's $20 a month. That's the way it was. Or it's $5 in some cases. And in some cases, it was free. Well, it's Obama phone. No, that was actually Ronald Reagan, and all the Republicans did that because they actually listened at the time a couple of times. And then after that, they started trying to kill this shit. And it's still, you can still get cheap phones, and if you're in an area with dial-up, you can demand it be dial-up. And they'll do it even if you're not poor. You just have to claim there's a medical need that you have a 100% reliable communication hookup that is not subject to ever being disconnected for emergency use, which means the phone has to keep working for 911. You can pick up the phone, it's not working, but if you dial 911, it'll force fuck the thing into working so you can get emergency services. And lots of people were in the throes of fighting back against the big telecom companies by putting in dial tone based real copper wire hookups in their house. Over the last 6 months, it became a trend all over the country. And then suddenly there's a huge push to get rid of them. Some of you out there watching my channel, some of you don't watch the channel, but some of you do watch the channel, are hardcore conservative contrarians that believe if anything's being pushed, you should fight it. But no, you're all just sliding down the shit fest with the rest of us. Real rebel cause stuff, huh? Yeah, I'm in a bad mood today. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And yeah, I'm going to claim that Trump did this. Just like everybody claimed everybody else did it when they lied about it. I'm actually trying to tell the truth here. Who started this? Well, actually, it started a while ago. I dare you to find out who brought this up and wanted to change the FCC rules. Go ahead and look it up. This ought to be entertaining. I can't wait to see the comment section. I might even leave it wide open for once. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. You'll need it. I know I will.